the Epstein files are addictive. They're addictive. Like, I'm checking out everybody, and I just went through Michael Jackson. And the reason why I went through Michael Jackson is because there's a video going around saying that Michael Jackson was rescuing the boys, right? So I wanted to go and find that. I haven't been able to find that, but I did find a lot of disturbing things about Michael Jackson. And yeah. I watched the trials of Michael Jackson, and I was very aware, and I know that everybody was trying to make it out like he was a good guy. He was just a victim, and he was a victim at one point, but later on he became a perpetrator. And it is so clear in those files. He had a glossy magazine made up, and that's going around, and if you have the stomach for it, of all of the boys from the ranch and him with the boys. And in there, it is a personal testimony of one of the employees of Michael Jackson, and it talked about why they never spoke, because well, for one thing, their whole life was dependent on it, and if they did, they had an NDA where they, what is it called, where you couldn't speak beyond that. It was dangerous to speak about any of this. So basically, in that letter, it talks about how Neverland was the same as Jeffrey Island. It was exactly the same thing. And this one who wrote this asked Michael, why don't you just leave the little boys alone? Like, you're going to get in trouble. Somebody's going to find out what you're doing. And his response was, I don't want to. I just don't want to. So, yeah, it's hard to listen to any music today, because we know that these artists, to get big, either themselves, this happened to them, and they're products of that. Like the mayor right now of New York City, the information that we found out about him and his mom, and the pictures of him when he was a baby with Jeffrey, and was he used, or was he the son? What is it? We don't know. I guess we'd have to do a DNA, and I don't know if that's going to ever happen. But what we do know is a lot of people that are in charge right now, we're a part of this. We're children of this. Or, yeah, this is what I'm finding. Like I said, it is addictive. I was up at like 1:30 last night going over again the files for hours, and started first thing. It's addictive because everything, because I was a QAnon, right? Like back in the day when Q was really big, and everybody was saying, that's all garbage. I was a QAnon. I was passing all of the Q posts. I was doing all of that. I heard all of this stuff back then, but everybody said we were nuts. I lost family members over bringing out this information. I had such a dark night of the soul. And now to be vindicated, I don't want to be vindicated. I don't want to know that what I had seen in the Q files were true about these people. But unfortunately, I am. And go check out Michael Jackson. You can go and see the magazine that he made, and the letter written about from his employee, about Michael Jackson. And go find out about the mayors of New York's mom's connection to this as well. There's so many connections. It is international government, more than it is about like those children that were used and the disgusting things that were happening was just the tip of the iceberg. It wasn't to do with that. It was to do with replacing governments, replacing officials, destroying the Western society. That was the majority of the papers that I'm finding, is Jeffrey putting in people in different governments to take down their governments, and then talking about them being goyim and animals and not worthy of living, and let the goyim do that. So I'm just saying, I'm not an anti anything, but I'm reading these files, and these files are full of it. The destruction of the Western society, and that's what we've seen. Everything, right from the whole Black Lives Matter. He was part of that to make sure that that got promoted. The whole anti-white, the whole anti-Western society, all of the promotions, the school boards he was involved in, putting in the transgender movement. This was all to do with the I'm not saying he was one person, and I think probably when they say Jeffrey was doing all of this, it was like his representatives or whatever, and he wasn't the one in charge, because there were more. And then when it comes right down to it, we're finding out now that there is information that he was actually taken from the prison 2 to 3 days, I can't remember the exact thing, before they say he committed suicide, but he never came back. And now there's pictures showing that he is in Israel. So I don't know if that's true. Your guess is as good as mine. But what I do know is these files coming out to the way that they are is proving everything about Q, what they were talking about, is true. So if Q was true about those files, about what they were doing, was Q true about what Trump is doing to destroy that, and that he's only a placement top, but it is a military operation to bring down these corrupt governments and bring us back to civil? I don't know, because that's what Q was always talking about, how they were going and getting rid of these people. Although Q goes into reptilians and a lot more kind of crazy talk. Whether that's true, I haven't found that yet in the files. I'll let you know after I take a look. But anyways, they're addictive because I've been crucified for me. I hate using that word, but I have been. I've lost a lot by trying to wake people up to what was about to happen and what is happening now. Unfortunately, when I was telling you guys to start waking up, it hadn't happened yet, but we're seeing it now. The basically population replacement. Anyways, this is, I think I'm going to put on the back of here so you can see the painting in blood, human blood, of what the Rothschilds want to do to Europe.